I once read that pain is a blessing. When nothing hurts you, you sit in a comfortable chair and read a smart book, willingly believing in this good. Like the body is signaling to ask for help, so it whispers or even screams, asking for help. But when you are in pain, oh, this is a blessing. How to survive it. I don't know what to compare the pain that tormented my chest with. I could hardly breathe. I could no longer call for help, and I leaned against the wall, praying to God for only one thing, that this would end soon, no matter how. Girl, are you feeling bad? Gurney quickly. But I had just left the doctor, who called me a malingerer, and it's good that I didn't have time to go far. Stop beating yourself up, play sports, eat more fruits and vegetables, and look for sores less. But my heart doesn't let me sleep. Nonsense, it seems to you. You have a completely healthy heart. How much do I owe you? How much do you usually pay doctors? How much? Not at all. I haven't been to the doctors for 5 years. Tonka said that this luminary charged her mother $1,000 for the appointment, which means I owe the same amount. Yes, for what? The mind screamed. She didn't really listen to you and didn't listen, didn't send you for tests, didn't even measure your blood pressure. She brushed off your complaints, she didn't help you, and you still won't be able to sleep. And everything seemed to be correct, but for some reason I was ashamed, and I pulled the prepared bill out of my bag. Goodbye, I said to the stern luminary and went out into the hospital corridor. I didn't like to complain, but my heart wouldn't let me sleep. It fluttered in my chest like a caught butterfly. I remember well the tickling of the wings when you catch a butterfly with 2 palms, carefully, just to feel these light touches of a beautiful creature. Feel and release the beauty into freedom. My heart behaved like that butterfly and did not give me rest. It doesn't hurt, but it's so unpleasant, I complained to my fiancé. Groom, isn't it funny yourself? The mind immediately intervened. He has been in this status for 5 or even 6 years and is not going to change it. Oh, how convenient. To come to everything ready, eat, sleep to your heart's content, and disappear for a couple of weeks because work, friends, and so on. And you sit at home and wait for the call. You're like a mongrel who is ready to forgive absolutely everything for stingy affection. But I love him, I answered my mind, already fearing for my mental health. Such conversations with myself began to become a habit. Don't make things up. You're always making up problems for yourself. Normal, healthy woman, I can plow on you, my fiancé answered predictably. You need to take care of yourself, start running, sign up for the gym. Have you weighed yourself lately? How much fat do you carry around? It will be easier if you lose weight. I usually took offense at his contemptuous statements and began to cry, and he, feeling that he had gone too far, sternly said that he cared about me and wanted me to be absolutely healthy. So that's what you think of me? I objected, and my beloved was already offended, angry, said that I was misinterpreting his words, slammed the door, and disappeared for a couple of months. This is how he raised me. He himself said that a life partner should be submissive. Why are you putting up with all this? My friend was already angry with me and tried to persuade me to leave my fiancé. I love him, I answered through snot and tears, and Tonka cursed and kept trying to get through to my pride or reason. He bewitched you, or what? You've become like a zombie. I'll do without lectures. I'd better recommend a good cardiologist. I can't sleep, I answered my friend at our last meeting. Heartache? Tonka was alarmed and immediately gave me the number of this luminary, who cured both her mother and almost all the heart patients in our small town. The cardiologist praised by Tonka turned out to be a young lady, inattentive. I told her 3 times what I was complaining about while she was typing something, peering intently at the monitor, and an ambulance for examination and conclusions. Breathe, don't breathe, turn around. She turned me around for a minute and pronounced a verdict. Healthy. You're healthy, so healthy, I said to the poster, on which somehow childishly a huge heart was drawn, and I was just about to read what I was being called to, when this huge blessing fell on me. Pain. They put me on a gurney, they ran around me, they probably injected me with something, because the pain started, if not going away, then at least allowing me to breathe. Then there were tests, an ultrasound, a lot of things. I don't even remember, to be honest. I believed in what was happening. It couldn't have happened to me. I'm healthy. I'm absolutely healthy, and I'm just inventing different ailments for myself. This strange state of half asleep, half awake was familiar to me. This is how I felt when my mother was dying. I remember I was sitting in the lobby of the department and waiting for the doctor. I was exhausted, and it seems to me already knew what they would tell me, but there was hope. It's almost always there. I looked at the TV screen, not understanding what was being shown. I went deaf and seemed to disappear from this world. Then the doctor told me that he was afraid for me. I did not react to his words, and he had to shake me by the shoulder so that I would come back and find out about my mother's terrible diagnosis. I also fell out of reality this time. I have become a doll that they turn, twist, shift, say something, swear a little, either at me or at someone else. But I don't care. I'm just not here. Defensive reaction? My mind squeaked, and I floated away somewhere, probably into sleep without pain and heart fluttering. So young and already dragging yourself around hospitals. I decided not to open my eyes and not look at another unbeliever in my heart, restless in every sense. Don't pretend I see that you woke up. Come on, open your eyes, beauty. Because of you, I didn't sleep well. They fussed around you. You scared them. This voice said with some kind of satisfaction, as if frightened doctors were the best thing you could see in our hospital. I felt funny and interested. I turned my head towards the voice and slowly, still not believing that I remained in this world, I opened my eyes. Our city madwoman was lying next to me. I saw her often. She loved train stations and our airport, and if she was allowed, she would live in the waiting rooms. Almost everyone took pity on her, fed her, allowed her to take a shower at our railway station, and everyone tried to somehow accommodate her, as if she was not a person, but a lost little dog. Sometimes she would disappear for several months, return happy and in new clothes, and still spend time at train stations, just watching people, birds, stray cats and dogs. She was not talkative and only briefly thanked her for the food and the fact that she was not always kicked out of the waiting room. Nobody knew her name. She had no documents. Do you have a heart too? I asked her stupidly. She seemed absolutely healthy. Oh no, how often I heard that. Ruddy and incredibly happy with life. You can say so. And you scared everyone. Oh, how you scared. She giggled and rubbed her hands as if my aching heart was her doing. I scared you, I repeated with difficulty. My heart didn't hurt, but I felt so weak, as if I was really plowing. I didn't want to talk. I closed my eyes and pretended to be sleeping. And then I actually fell asleep. You sleep and sleep, wake up, breakfast will be brought soon. I thought it was time for both breakfast and lunch, it seemed to me. I slept for a very long time. The food here is not tasty, but you won't get poisoned. Not like the cafe at the station. You should never go there. They have cockroaches parading around the kitchen. Even I'm disdainful. How talkative she turns out to be. What is your name? I decided to be polite. I don't remember. Call it what you want. What name do you like? What did you want to be called as a child? Like my girlfriend, Sveta. So, what's your father's name? Vasya, Vasily. Well, I have a name. Call me Svetlana Vasilyevna or Baba Sveta, as you wish. Better than Baba Sveta. I'm offended by my dad. He abandoned my mom and me. As you wish, beauty. She was somehow unreal. I don't know how to explain. It's as if they took an ordinary grandmother and dressed her funny. Baby Sveta was wearing a spacious robe. You could immediately see from someone else's shoulder, of such a motley color that it rippled in the eyes. Faded, a washed nightgown, worn-out slippers, and a defiantly bright pink hair clip in her thin gray hair. And, healthy, they pushed her into the hospital. She was a stranger in the ward. For some reason, I immediately understood this. You are sick? I repeated my seemingly stupid question. She moved her eyebrows funny, twisted her mouth in a strange way, and answered, I'm absolutely healthy. No, don't get me wrong. I always have something pricking, aching, and itching. But not like yours. It doesn't hurt as much. You, beauty, were gray. I thought you wouldn't survive. What are you doing here then? I eat, sleep, read books, talk, and when I get tired, I run away. Where? How to where? Home to the station. It's nice there. There's a lot of bustle, and the loudspeaker is funny. They started speaking English, can you imagine? And with mistakes, too. The pronunciation is excellent, and the mistakes are stupid. I would have fainted from amazement, but I restrained myself. I didn't want to go back to blackness. Do you know English? Of course not. Where? But you just said, what? What they say with mistakes? Who? At the station, announcements. About what? I don't know. I was confused. And she looked at me with absolutely empty eyes, and I thought, I'm dreaming about all this. Breakfast, she screamed so loudly that my heart pounded. She ate not exactly sloppy, I can't find the word again. Strange. It seemed like a pig with his hands, but it didn't look repulsive. They brought her a piece of chicken and pasta. She carefully took one pasta after another, as if it were grapes or raspberries, and carefully put it into her mouth. I even watched this action. For some reason, they brought me a plate of semolina mess, the nightmare of my childhood, and a glass of pale tea. I didn't want to eat. I wanted to sleep again, and I didn't deny myself this little pleasure. For some reason, I either felt very good or didn't care at all. Everyone is asleep, Igor Valentinovich. I can't wake up. He doesn't want to talk. Baba Nura, don't bother her. Let her gain strength. She has a heart if she hadn't been in the hospital. You see for yourself, you know. Did you like breakfast? For lunch, Lenotchka will bring borscht with sour cream, donuts, your favorite. You spoil me, Igoresha. Shh, I'll pay you off. I emerged from my slumber and saw my, probably, doctor. He sat on Baba Sveta's bed. Why did he call her Nura? And held the crazy woman's hand, either counting her pulse or warming the old woman's paw. They say that the elderly have cold blood, which is why they feel cold, while the young have hot blood, which is why they are so full of life and are quite able to share it. Does she have any relatives? What is her name? I felt uncomfortable that they were talking as if I wasn't there, and then I realized that my eyes are almost closed and I see them through a tiny slit, and they think that I'm still asleep. Her name is Yana. She has no relatives. I have a friend. She's already come running. She's an assertive person. They say there is a groom. They called, but he doesn't answer the phone. The groom, the grandmother giggled. We know people like that. He runs all over the city, gets married, gets mixed up with fools, lives in several houses, and they are happy to try fools. Wow, there are such suitors. The strength in them is animalistic, alluring, so they stick to him, fly, love, and he. What is he? The doctor was as interested as I was. I almost opened my eyes, but I was afraid to scare away the talkative grandmother. And she switched to a mysterious whisper. A witch, terrible, powerful, will bewitch him, twist him into a ram's horn, and that's where the end will come for him. Fuck you, Baba Nura. You won't understand where you see what and where you're lying. The doctor laughed so contagiously that I couldn't resist and snorted. Awoke. I told you, I'll wake her up and get her. Baba Sveta patted the doctor on the hand and pushed him in the side. Go, treat. What happened to me? The first, most unoriginal question that a patient asks a doctor. My heart is in trouble, but it's better now. I understood that for some reason he didn't want to speak frankly, although he seemed obliged to. For some reason I felt scared by his attentive, searching gaze, and I decided not to insist on details. Let me listen to you. I obediently breathed and did not breathe and was surprised how long he was fiddling with me, peering into my eyes, listening to my pulse, ignoring the persistent ringing of the phone. That's great, rest. We'll dig in and run home. He spoke to me as if I were a child, unreasonable and stupid, and I understood. My business was bad. It was, Baba Sveta, or Nura, confirmed my thoughts. But you paid off and your life was spared. Did you pay off? And the doctor said that he was paying off, she said, and felt awkward herself. It turns out that I overheard their conversation, but the grandmother either did not notice or decided not to pay attention. Has it ever happened to you? You buy something and see whether it's nonsense, trash, or the quality is disgusting, and yet your hand reaches for your wallet, even though you know you'll reproach yourself later. Has it happened? Yes. I was surprised at her perspicacity. How the devil is drawn to give away the money. It's not the demon, it's the universe itself that is taking a ransom from you for something, Baba Sveta said importantly. What did you buy before you came here? Unnecessary. I thought about it. For Slavik, my beloved love, I bought a jacket. Expensive. Beautiful. He had been dreaming about it for a long time. It was only a joy for me. I wanted a blouse for myself. For Slavik. I'll like it. I ordered new towels. What else? It seems 1,000. It dawned on me. The money that I gave to the doctor is right here. I came to her unofficially, and she gave it and regretted it, right? And I understood that it was stupid to give, right? So, this is your payoff. Is it that simple? To listen to her, our world is a big market. Everything can be bought, even life. On the one hand, everything is simple, but on the other, it's so complicated that we won't be able to comprehend even a millionth part of it with our brains. Just think for yourself, what threads stretch from this 1,000 to you, to those people who had this piece of paper before you, how it got to you. Wow, there's such a tangle here, you can't unwind it, it's none of our business. But you said, I paid myself off. Yes, I did. This happens. Be glad that they took your ransom when they don't take it. Things are bad. And this doctor? Igor Valentinovich? What is he paying off for? Who? Doctor. Which? She again changed her smart, lively look to a dull and incomprehensible one, and I realized that you couldn't get any sense from her now. Ransom. A strange theory, but convenient if you bought something unnecessary, or lost it, or gave more than you could. How true is this? It seemed to me that there was some meaning in this, but not everything is so straightforward. Our world is still not a bazaar, although perhaps it is. We just don't understand. We don't see the price tag, and sometimes we don't believe him. I imagined our market, the stalls where they sell luck, success, happiness, health. They don't trade. They exchange for strength, life, and money. Despicable metal, or rather pieces of paper. How vulgar and uninteresting. But another way, why not? Who's behind the counter and who needs our money? I got a little confused and fell asleep again. I slept a lot. It seems to me that my body was trying to heal itself. My heart disease drove thoughts and even feelings out of my head, and everything became so indifferent to me. All my problems and anxieties faded so much that I was surprised at myself. For some reason, my whole life outside the hospital became unimportant, and I didn't want to go back there. Baba Sveta, she said that she looks like Igor Valentinovich's great-grandmother Anna, which is why he calls her Nura, was either really crazy, and periods of relative normality alternated with hours when her gaze became dull, somehow lifeless, unpleasant, and she didn't answer questions, pretended that she couldn't even remember my name, or she was so smart that during such periods of emptiness, she simply took a break from my annoying questions. "Is this your Slavic?" she asked when my fiancé came to visit me. He was affectionate and gentle, stroked my hair and whispered sweet nothings in my ear, brought my favorite mango and expensive pate. A dream, not a man. I was choking with happiness. He loves me, even if he doesn't say that cherished word I love. But he loves me. Now I'm absolutely sure of this. Did you play with a cat as a child? With a candy wrapper? What? I thought I misheard. Is she having that bout of idiocy again? As soon as the kitten is about to grab the candy wrapper, you lift it higher and then lower so that interest does not disappear. Up, down, right, left, and the kitten runs after a piece of paper, and it seems that he is about to grab him. And nothing depends on the naive kitten. They just play with him. What are you hinting at? I got angry. This old witch is just jealous of me. My youth, my love and passion. Envy. Black envy. Am I hinting? I'm telling you straight. You'll see, a nasty witch will soon marry him. She'll even have a wart. Tell me where. Where? What? Wart? What wart? Well, how can you do that? I almost burst into tears. She changed her personality again and stared out the window. You have already paid him off, believe me. It will soon become easier. Just be patient a little. I dreamed about the words of Baba Sveta that night, and in the morning she disappeared. Where is Grandma Svet? Nura? I was sincerely worried about her, thinking about how I could help her. She left. I rested, lay down to my heart's content, and left. Igor Valentinovich calmly answered me. It seemed he wasn't worried about her at all. Out on the street again? The station? Yes, she's used to it. He shrugged and hurriedly left the room. They placed an overly talkative lady on Baba Sveta's bed who chatted me up so much throughout the day that I imagined her voice even in my sleep. I asked to be discharged. I thought I would immediately find Baba Sveta, but suddenly everything came over me and I forgot about her. Slavik got married 3 months after my attack. If it weren't for Tanka, I wouldn't have known about it. As Baba Sveta said, he courted several girls at once and chose. When I saw her, I didn't know whether to be happy that Slavik's chosen one was so scary, and he would soon get tired of looking at her every day, or to cry that he's still married, but not to me. I kept hoping. I was foolishly confident that I could bring him back, but I started dreaming about Baba Sveta. In my dreams, she kept repeating that with my love, my attention, generous gifts, I had already bought off the ghoul Slavik, and fate counted everything and said, "Enough. I will soon feel better, and if I am not too stubborn, and do not instill in myself thoughts of love for Slavik, everything will be just fine for me." I was so tired of these nightly lectures that I finally went to our station to talk to the crazy woman. She looked at me in bewilderment, without recognition, shook her head, whispered something when I gave her money and a bag of groceries, and behaved so distantly that I doubted whether she was my roommate. I told her that I would come again, that I would bring her food and clothes, and that she was right. Baba Sveta looked at me without blinking, blankly. I sighed and was about to leave when suddenly a speaker roared over my ear. "Ladies and gentlemen, I told you the pronunciation is excellent. The mistakes are stupid." Baba Sveta giggled and quickly added, "You'll understand everything yourself. Go." There was so much power and strength in her voice that I obediently went to the bus stop. I didn't dream about her anymore. My sick heart shed tears for Slavik for another whole year. And then, when his daughter was born, I was suddenly released, and I felt free. "You will still fall in love," Baba Sveta told me when I visited her in the hospital. She again took a break from the stations, ate up and slept, and on my bed lay a pale woman with dark circles under her eyes. "Yesterday we were transferred from intensive care. It's very heavy," explained Baba Sveta, and happily broke off a large piece of raspberry pie, and I thought, how random and non-random everything is. Accidentally, I was about to ask about this, but Baba Sveta interrupted me. "Just remember about the ransom and live." She quickly, like a naughty girl, licked her fingers and pushed me out of the room. "Go. You will understand everything yourself." She turned out to be right. Again.